Sir David the Bard. I'm here at Sioux City, Iowa, and I just was thinking, live large, there we go. Love that reclining chair. Anyway, I thought today, and I don't know if you've thought this or not, I drive the freeway a lot. You know, like I said, I'm almost 70 years old, and I still drive. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how to get home. I don't know where I've been, but I still love driving. It's one of my favorite things. And I've driven since I was 16. I haven't had a ticket or an accident for over 50 years. And as a bus driver, so I've seen a lot on the traffic and on the roads in the United States. I've driven in California, of course, and Arizona, Texas, oh God, New Mexico, Vermont, Maine, Florida, Canada, everywhere. Tijuana. You don't drive in Tijuana. You just hand money out the window and get nothing. Anyway, there's a phenomenon that goes on. I don't understand. When I was a BYU student, I had two experiences with driving. I was driving out by Cedar City, Beaver. I'm always driving around Beaver. Alright, Anna, Sir Girl, leave me alone. Anyway, I was probably, I don't know, 23, and I came upon an accident. And in those days, boy, I'll tell you, there were no gas stations, there were no telephones, no cell phones, and no car phones, and no phones along the highway. Years ago, in California, they put up permanent cell phones with little solar receivers. But anyway, I stopped. And there was this group of people, maybe 9, 10 people standing around in a circle. And I went over to see what the thing was all about. What were they looking at? Well, they were looking at a girl dying. And I don't know. I guess I get a little bit emotional. I guess I get a real sadness and a real prophetic feeling when I see adults standing around watching another adult die, like it's a show or it's entertainment. It's kind of like people, I guess, that go to a prison execution to watch somebody die. She was in bad shape, a lot of lacerations, a lot of blood, and deep lacerations to the face and the head and the skull. And I knelt down and I started to give her mouth to mouth. And the rest of the people just stood there and they watched. Well, after about 4 or 5 minutes of trying to keep her alive, I had a nurse, said she was a nurse, stop and came over. And she continued to take the pulse of the girl to make sure I wasn't just wasting my time, as she was already dead. And I would take a few breaths and then look down, and the nurse would shake her head and said, yeah, she's still alive, keep going. And after about 5 or 6 minutes, I looked down and the lady's head goes, no, you should quit, you're done, she's gone. Well, I had on a white shirt and nice clothes, pants. And I took one more look at her dead, knowing that she died in my arms. And I went over and got out of the crowd and just threw up. It was a pretty gruesome experience in sight. I'd never seen anything like that. I didn't go to Vietnam. And so it's left an impression upon me. A few years later, driving again from BYU to California, I drove past a man in a ditch, and he was sitting on a woman, and she was just wailing and flailing, and her hands going like legs and everything. And I thought, well, maybe he's assaulting her. I don't know. So I pulled over and went over to him, and I said, what's going on here? And he said, well, yeah, go up by the four-wheel drive truck up there. And I said, oh. I said, is there something there I should see? And he said, yeah, I'm sitting on my wife. She's gone hysterical. Our baby just died, got run over. Well, okay, well, I kind of cleared him in my mind and said, well, you know, he belongs, I guess, sitting on her because she's so out of control. So I went up to the four-wheel drive truck, and it was upside down, and crashed. And I looked under it, and there was a baby that had rolled out. In those days, we didn't have car seats and didn't have basically seat belts, and the baby had been ejected from the truck. Truck ran the baby over and decapitated the baby. So the head was in one place and the body was in another place. Like I said before, I hadn't seen these things. I hadn't been around these kinds of pathetic and tragic events. So I grabbed a blanket. That's all I knew what to do. Maybe I could have used the priesthood and put the head of the baby back on. I don't know. But anyway, I covered the baby up to give it some kind of dignity and privacy. Now here's what I'm getting at. How many times have you and I been driving down the freeway and there's a traffic jam? You know, everybody's backed up, and rather than going, you know, freeway speed, they're all going 20, 22 miles an hour. And we say to ourselves, oh my gosh, there must be road construction, or a bridge fell down, or whatever. And so we're tied up in that for, whatever, half an hour, 45 minutes. And we get up to the site where the activity is. And there's no lanes blocked. The lanes are wide open. The people, maybe you're one of them. I'm not. But the people slow down to see dead people. I'm not one. You know, if there's a crash over to the side of the road, and as long as I'm in a safe place, I'm not going to hurt somebody, I go right by it at 70 miles an hour. I don't look left, I don't look right, I just keep going. It ain't my business. But I'll tell you, the rest of you slow down, hoping to see a dead body. And you love it when there's sheets on the ground and you know that somebody's dead underneath the sheet. Well, in some places, I've seen them hold the sheets up so you can't see anything that's going on. I don't understand humans. I just don't understand that kind of curiosity. Now, they say that I'm bald because I've made too many U-turns under the sheets. Well, there's some things I'm curious about. Some things that I'll slow down and look at. But not a dead body. Not a dead body. I was over at the cemetery the other day working on the Bardmobile. And it's quiet over there. I like working in a cemetery. It's quiet. No one comes up to me to bother me. Why? Can someone explain to me that other humans want to see the tragedy and the blood and the gore and the sadness that some family has just experienced? They just lost their son or their daughter or their father or grandfather, and everybody goes by real slow hoping to catch, gawking, I guess we call it, gawking and hoping that they see something that isn't their business. Once you get by the dead person, traffic picks right up again. You've been in a traffic jam, slowed down for 45 minutes because everybody in front of you went to the amusement park to see the dead man or the dead child. Well, seeing two dead people is enough for me for a lifetime. And I didn't stop out of curiosity. I stopped because I was trained a little bit. We didn't have CPR back in those days. Mouth to mouth was the only thing we knew, and I'd used mouth to mouth 2 or 3 times. 2 people went dead. 1 little girl stayed alive, Tammy. So, please, help the Bard, help the Bard. Why do you slow down to look at an accident that has dead bodies, children, women, men? I remember when I was working in Massachusetts, I was on the turnpike, and one of the construction workers walked out in front of the traffic, and I saw him hit by a car, and it looked like a rag doll. Just looked like a rag doll. Hit him, and he went right down on the ground dead. And his friends came out from the shoulder, workers, and were pushing the cars over to the left or right so he didn't get run over again. When is enough tragedy? When is enough tragedy? You men, perhaps women, that have been to war and have seen these things day and night for years. I understand a little bit. When you come back from that situation, it's never normal again. When you've seen the desecration and the decapitation and the blood and the gore of war, and everybody's getting it, the children, the women, the old ladies, the old men, I see what post-traumatic stress syndrome is all about. I appreciate you people that did go to war to protect our country. I feel sorry that you saw the things that you saw, and that you come back to this country and people slow down to see 1 dead body, and you saw dead bodies all day long every day for a year or 2. But anyway, maybe someone could write in, maybe someone could put down on a post, why? Why do you stop to see an accident that involves dead humans? I turn my head the other way. Just keep driving as fast as I usually drive. It's not my business. I don't need to see dead people. And I feel bad inside that somebody lost their car, somebody lost their life, helicopters landing, picking a child up, trying to get him over to the hospital before they die. I don't know. I guess today is just one of those days that I'm pondering things that I don't understand. Obviously, these people that are laying under the sheets, and sometimes people get to look and see the dead body before they get it under a sheet, they don't have health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinews, power in the priesthood be upon them and upon their posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. I feel sorry for them. I don't slow down. I have the dignity, I think it's dignity, and the common sense. Look the other way. Just drive on through and feel bad that somebody's lost their life. Bard's gone.